Well, since yesterday's episode, I've worked my way through January, and now you guys will get to see who we signed. We made a few signings in this January transfer window, and we'll also get to play against Aberdeen on this last day. There's actually still a few hours to go of the transfer window after this Aberdeen game, so there might be more signings to happen just after it. It could be a very exciting episode indeed. Let's get into it. Yes, hello, welcome back into the Killie Boys here on the Football Manager 21 on the 11am Sports YouTube channel. Yes, as you can see from the league table, we are currently in third position, but we do have a game in hand on Rangers and Celtic, so we may go top at some point eventually when we get that game in hand played. If you're new around here, hit subscribe and you'll get to see more of the Killie Boys every day, Monday to Friday, at 11 o'clock in your subscription box. Last time out, we played a couple of games against Dundee United and Motherwell, and we should remember that in those games we had a 0-0 draw against Dundee United and a 4-0 win against Motherwell. Since then, as you can see, we've done quite well, but I'll go over those results in a little bit more detail in 2 seconds because I'm going to show you some transfers. That's what you're here for. Nothing hugely exciting on the outs. Greg Kiltie is away out on loan to Rotherham. And Darren Burke, who we signed at the start of the season, is out on loan for the rest of the season to St Mirren. So that's 2 of the kind of attacking midfield position players away on loan. Mainly because in on a permanent transfer, we have Luis Fernando Bonilla, who looks an unbelievable player. May I just say that in his 4 games for us so far, he has scored 3 goals and had 2 assists and has an average rating of 7.78. So he has been playing pretty good for us as well, mainly as a right winger. That's all he's played for us, to be honest, but he's mainly signed as a right winger, but he can play up front if he has to. But yeah, very, very good. We signed him for £1.2 million from Independiente Santa Fe in Colombia. And I must say, he looks pretty good, doesn't he? 4-star current ability, lots of very high stats, lots of 17s, pace, his physical pace, acceleration, very good. He's crossing 13, dribbling 12, technique 17. I tell you, he's going to be a really good, classy, skillful player out there, and he's played very well for us so far. Another South American export we've brought in is Renan Augusto. We've signed him for free from Brazil, from I think it's Corinthians. That's who COR is, isn't it? I don't have the real name pack in. Sorry. You can see as a centre back, he looks fairly well rounded. Nice physical stats, some nice mentals. Heading 13, marking 12, tackling 12, positioning 12. Chances to improve there as well. And he's technically classed as an important player, but really he's our 3rd or 4th choice centre back, and he's a very, very solid option at that. Got him for free, so can't complain. That's Renan Augusto. We also signed Connor Henderson, a goalkeeper, in from, where do we get him from? Bray Wanderers. Cost us £70,000. I've liked looking for quite some time. Did not get a work permit, however, so I've sent him out on loan to Sydney in the hope that he builds up some game time, maybe get some caps for Ireland, and then hopefully we'll be able to apply for a work permit for him. But he looks pretty good, and he's more than happy to be a backup keeper for us. Should Trot or Much get annoyed that they're not playing, because they both want to be starters. You know how it works. And somebody who's just come in the door, literally just as I'm about to start this game, he arrived at 2:30 this afternoon or something like that, and we play at 3. It's Finn. I'm going to go with Finn. Finn Mooney, the English midfield player. We signed him for £325,000 from Crystal Palace. One of the reasons we did that, it says he plays best as a winger, but then also his best position is attacking midfield and centre mid. I'm not quite sure how that works, but nonetheless, I'm going to play him in the midfield. We've signed him mainly because our previous signing, Bonilla, wanted us to improve the midfield, so I've brought in another midfield player to hopefully they'll be happy that we've signed a midfield player, even if it's not an amazing midfield player. We've signed another player in there, so it might look like we've improved the midfield. That's the hope. Anyway, And he looks okay, to be honest. He's got some nice statistics. First touch 15, passing 14, technique's okay. You know, he's perhaps things like anticipation and long shots could be slightly better. And physically, he looks okay as well. Maybe could do with slightly better stamina as a centre midfielder. But an alright, certainly as a squad player in there as well. And all the cost is £300,000. Just to give you a little insight, we've got a possibility of bringing Jorge Pedra. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Pedahitra? We'll go with that. And on loan as well from PSG. PSG have put him on the loan list. You can see we haven't fully scouted him, but he looks pretty good. He's already got a cap for Colombia at the age of 18, so I'm hoping we might get him on loan for 6 months, and that would also contribute towards the improving the midfield. Maybe, I mean, definitely would improve the midfield, but we'll see what happens. That could be something that happens after the Aberdeen game. In fact, it will be. We'll find out if we've got him or not. And you can see in the promises section that Bonilla is happy we have had efforts to improve the midfield. So that's good. Finn Malcolm wants to play a little bit more. You can see here, so we will give him some more games. Jordan Brown also wants to play a bit more, so we'll give him a few games as well. Tried to give Ross Forrest a loan move, but nobody seems to want him. So I'll offer him out to clubs again on loan for the last, 6 hours of the window. See if anyone tries to offer for him. But let's have a look at the results we've had. So we started off January fairly disappointing, to be honest. A 1-1 draw against Queen's Park. We didn't really rotate. It was a fairly full-strength squad, to be honest. Charles Bolly with the goal. We did miss 2 penalties in the game. Rodell Richards missed one. Then we gave one to Bonilla, and he missed it as well. That was a 1-1 draw. Disappointing. We then played Queen's Park in the league, where we won 3-0. Bolly with 2, Tate with 1, and Ian Wilson, the former Kilmarnock man, actually, was sent off late in that game. We then played against Hearts, where we won 5-3. Bonilla with 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. A couple of these classes own goals, but they were really well worked plays that ended up being touched in by the defender. But really, it's not. There were better goals than just own goals. We won that game 5-3. They scored a late penalty. I must say, Finn Eckerpot's goal was outstanding. From about 25 yards out, curled round to the top corner. It was his first goal of the season, apparently. And I was questioning that because he hadn't scored yet in the whole season, and then he scored an absolute stunner. And then we played Queen's Park for the 3rd time in the month, the 3rd time in 10 days, something like that, and we beat them 3-0. Bonilla with a goal, Malcolm with a goal, and Dylan Tate with a goal as well. So that leaves us for today's game against Aberdeen. You say we play Hibs in the Scottish Cup 5th round. We won't show you that. We might show you the quarters of the semis later on. But yeah, Aberdeen in the league today, because we talked a lot about transfers, just the one game for us today. And then we'll play a couple of hours after the Aberdeen game and see if we get any more signings in or out. So let's go and have a look at the team for this Aberdeen game. So the team for today's game is as so much in goal with Hamilton and Hardley. They're kind of forming my centre-back partnership, to be honest. They're both at centre-back. We'll play Brown at right-back because he wants some more game time. And Kokovas to play on the left. Kastrup alongside Velasquez. I keep struggling to say his name properly. Kastrup and Velasquez in the middle. They've been my preferred duo in January. Means Burton's dropped to the bench. But Velasquez is only 18 years old. So I'm hoping we can improve him in there. As you can see, lots of positive trends in his stats. Hopefully we can see him really, really improve as a midfield option for us there. Tate just in front, who has had a few transfer offers, I must say. He's worth £9 million, it says. No one met a value that I would want to sell him for, so he did not get sold. Richards is going to play on the right-hand side today because Bonilla is struggling for some match sharpness. Bolly playing on the left-hand side, and Finn Malcolm will give him a go up front, seeing as he's complaining he's not getting some game time. The bench is Trott, Egan Riley, Burton, Woods. Mooney gets to go on the bench today. You might see Bonilla off the bench and possibly Alan Graham, who for 18 million and then possibly up to 30, 5 goals so far this season is not a great return from him. So here we go, the teams are out there for this game against Aberdeen, and as a highlight early on, Bolly with the ball on the left hand side. He does get tackled, but he wins it back. Very interesting indeed. There's a lot of challenges flying in there. Bolly with the ball over to Richards, back to Tate somehow, and it's a good save from Richie there. See, Aberdeen have played a very strange formation, a 4-4-2, but a CM and a DM there, which aesthetically really disappoints me, I must say. Velasquez with a big lunging challenge there, and just after I was complimenting him today, he gets himself sent off. That's just what we want. What we'll do is we'll sacrifice Tate from his advanced role, move him to deep line playmaker, and Jens Kastrup can play box to box. Well, we're up against it now. 75 minutes of this game with 10 men. Let's see how those 10 men do out there. And the answer to how we're doing out there is we're not doing a lot, to be honest. No highlights after that sending off in that first half. And hopefully we get some more highlights in the second. Or this is going to be a very, very boring episode for you watching along at home. A highlight, here we go. I wish for one and it has arrived. Richards gets the ball from the Aberdeen throw-in. And let's see what he does here. He cuts inside. Could he play it out wide to Kokavas? Instead he tried to find Bolly and it was not successful. Tate back to Hamilton. And Tate finds Richards. And Richards plays it wide to Bolly. Cuts inside. Can he hit it? He can indeed. And our top goal scorer for the season, Charles Bolly, gets another goal. 15 for the season for him. Remember I was saying maybe he shouldn't be playing on the left because he's playing so well on the right. Well, he's been playing on the left the last few games and he scored goals from there. Today is much the same. 1-0 to Kilmarnock. Thank you, Charles Bolly. But there's a highlight immediately here from the Aberdeen throw. Hanratty, that's a good name, finds Ferguson and Cosgrove and hardly clears it away, and Malcolm can chase down Hyam here and chase down the keeper Ritchie. It comes out to Van Hecken, back to the keeper, and a long ball forward. One of my players fell over there. Ruth has it, and that's wide and nowhere near the goal. Still 1-0. Bolly with the corner kick. He swings it in. Nearly Hamilton gets to, but Kastrup finds Bolly. And can they swing this ball into the box? It's a penalty kick. It looks like it is indeed. They're saying it looked like a dive, but you know what? I don't care. We'll take it. Rodell Richards gets to take the penalty. He missed the last one against Queen's Park, but he scores this one and puts it up 2-0. They're saying that was a dive from Bolly, but I will not look at it and will pretend it wasn't. It was definitely a foul. Richards, bottom right-hand side, keeper, no chance, goes the wrong way. 2-0. Brought off Hardley and brought on Egan Riley at centre-back. I know you don't often change your centre-backs out, but Hardley was very much dead on his feet there. And Egan Riley nearly scored from that corner, but there was a foul given away in the build-up. And here, with a couple of minutes to go, we've got some people dead on their feet. I think I say that quite often. So these players can come on. Finn Mooney can come on for his debut, playing as a box-to-box. And Robbie Burton can come on there as well. Two new centre midfielders just to hold out this victory. 2-0 up. And the time ticks away. And we win that game 2-0. And from a possibly very disappointing position, having been down to 10 men with 15 minutes on the clock, we've scored 2 goals, won 2-0. And there was no highlights in the first half for you. We had quite a few in the second. And it was a nice victory in the end from 10-man Kilmarnock. And looking at the league table after that, Celtic drew 2-2 with Hibs. So that puts us level on points with Celtic with a game in hand. And we're also 1 point ahead of Rangers. Both of us have got that game in hand on Celtic. We have tried to loan this boy, Jorge Pedrahita. I'm not going to try and say it. And we'll see if he accepts. And I'm sure if you were very observant, you'll have noticed that it said that he had rejected us, even when I was just literally saying we'll see if it's accepted. So, no, he's not coming in. And it looks like that's all there's going to be for deadline day. And time has ticked away here on deadline day. And you know what? There has not been anything exciting at all. This is a very interesting screen, for when you're doing your registrations. And I just make sure every time we do the registration, because I have a lot of people not registered because they're under 21 and they don't have to be. But I just make sure that it is the right people who are there. We've lost £3 million this window. I wondered quite why that is. But we do still have £2.5 million in the bank. We have been hemorrhaging money, unfortunately. I think most of that would be transfers. 3 million it says in transfers. Yeah, not great. But yeah, hopefully a successful season. And getting into Europe again will help boost that bank account. Looking at the schedule for the next run of games, I think I'll come back in March at some point, and it might be around the Scottish Cup quarter final time, should we get there. If not, probably around that kind of Motherwell Celtic or Celtic Queen's Park sort of area. I'm imagining. I'll roll with it and we'll see when we come back. It's going to be in March at some point though. But if you have enjoyed this episode, a wee bit of something different, talking about the transfers and then that one win against Aberdeen, even though we were only with 10 men for most of that match. If you have enjoyed it, do subscribe to the channel, like the video as well. That makes a big difference to me. And until the next one, see you then.